Well, my talk this morning, as you can imagine, is a tribute to mothers. Today we remember our mothers and the mother figures in our lives and all those who have shared with us a motherly love. Tina Fey said, "Being a mom has made me so tired and so happy." And then there's Phyllis Diller, who said, "I want my children to have all the things I couldn't afford. Then I want to move in with them." And so we pray. We pray that all our mothers, whether they're here with us today, or they're in another part of the world, or they're in another realm, having left this world, that they be blessed with the energies of love and well-being in their present existence today and always. There would be no life without mothers, right? Mothers are the creator of the human race, after all. There's no human race without mothers. But I read an adorable story this week I wanted to share with you. It's about this 8-year-old boy and his mom. They live in Kentucky. And she is a very patient mother because she would let him play with her phone on occasion as a reward. He didn't have his own phone. So once in a while, she'd let him play with her phone. And he had so much fun with her phone, pretend shopping, like he would window shop. And he would go to Amazon and he would window shop and he would dream about all the things he wanted to buy. And he had this idea that he was going to create a carnival. So he was thinking about all the carnival supplies he needed to get, right? And so for some reason, he thought he really wanted to get lollipops. He thought if everybody at the carnival has lollipops, they'll be happy, right? Well, on this week, he took it a big step further. He selected lollipops, a whole lot of lollipops. In fact, 70,000 Dum Dum lollipops, and this time he pressed order. For real. We've all been there. Sometimes we just can't control our impulses, right? Because he knew about that order button. So boy, was his mom shocked when she saw her checking account was overdrawn by $4,000 for a massive order of Dum Dum lollipops. And when she opened her front door, she found stacks of boxes over her head on either side of the front doorstep of these lollipops. There's a hilarious picture on CBS News. You saw it, with these big, giant red boxes, the red pillars of lollipops, right? So after a long day of working with the bank and with Amazon, she was able to get a refund. And in fact, they let her keep all those lollipops. And so she gave them to all the businesses around town for Mother's Day. Isn't that funny? So I guess the moral of the story is lock your phone if you don't want to be a sucker. Or if you don't want 70,000 suckers. But that will be a story they tell for the rest of their lives. That's going to be such a great story to tell. And I was so touched by the picture of the boy. Catherine saw it, but there's the picture of the boy and his mom. I mean, he looks like Dennis the Menace. I mean, he's so cute. And the mom, you can just tell she has the patience of the earth, right? And she just so loves him. And it was really touching, actually, to find out that he was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. And she took care of him and then adopted him at 2 years old. So you can just feel her love and dedication. And I just thought, wow, what a great Mother's Day story. Oh. So I've been writing all week, and as I've been writing, I've been feeling my mom's presence so much. I've had a lot of tears, a very tender, weepy week for me. It's been almost 2 years since our mom left this earth, and I miss her so much. I know it's hard to sing that song. I hope it still came off okay. But I feel like she's having new adventures. I really do. I really feel like she's having new adventures, and I feel deeply connected to her. So for all of us that are missing our moms and grieving our moms, we just send out a prayer of comfort, because I know there's many of us here. And this day, it's hard because I always spent this day with my mom and made a big deal of her. And 2 years ago, my brother and I took our mom to Auric. We got an Airbnb with an ocean view. And we enjoyed seeing the elk, and we went in the redwood forest there. And one of the sweetest last memories of Mom, because she passed 40 days after that trip, was washing her hair. She always loved when I washed her hair, and so that was the last time. I got to wash her long silver hair. This is where I got this. This is my mom. So, yeah, the mother relationship, it's very complex. In my younger years, I wanted Mom to be more affectionate. You know, I wanted her to be, she's kind of she would say a tough cookie, right? And I wanted her to be more affectionate, this other kind of mom that was idealized in my mind. And then in my middle years, in my 30s or so, I think I was starting to really let her be a soul and not hold her to this impossible standard, and just let her be a person that was having her journey, her own evolutionary journey. And then in our latest years, the last years, I really felt that the mother in me, the divine mother of me, was able to love her unconditionally. And so from that place, we were able to do so much healing. So we hold space for all the feelings today. We hold prayers for any healing that still needs to happen with mothers or with our children, right? I so often speak with so much love about my mom that some of you have said, oh, I didn't have the perfect relationship like you had. And I said, oh, no, I'm giving the wrong impression. Because we were challenged. We were definitely challenged in our relationship. We had our own wounds to heal, intergenerational wounds to heal. And nobody triggered me like my mom. And I think I triggered her equally. I love, Ram Dass has a quote that says, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your mother. Oh man, boy, if you saw me, you would know I was not enlightened. But we were working out old patterns, right? We needed to heal and we needed to release. And I was not the perfect daughter, and she was not the perfect mother. But what's so interesting now is in my evolution now, I realize she was the perfect mother for me. And it's come around to that she was just perfect for me, even the tough parts of it. And I think sometimes we see through the eyes of the heart more fully when someone's gone, right? There were so many quirky things about my mom, so many funny things and endearing things and wonderful things about her that have become more precious since she's gone. And one of the funny things growing up with our mother is she loved edible weeds, not just cannabis, but she loved every kind of edible weed. And she learned all about edible weeds, and she became an expert. And she would take people on these survival walks, how to survive in the wild, eating all these edible weeds. And so I'll never forget one time I was having a friend over. I was a teenager, and Mom served us all these dishes of edible weeds. There was smilax, dandelion, chickweed, and cat's tail. And of course, Mom made it really good with butter and garlic and sauteed it. But being polite, my friend ate it, but she told me later, I will never be coming back for dinner. One time we were on the school bus coming home from school, and it was a 10-mile kind of rural, through the countryside drive. And I looked out the window, and there's Mom in the ditch picking our dinner, right? She was picking curly dock. So we were an unusual family. Oh, man. But I was reading a Mary Oliver poem. That's why I love that you chose that, Cynthia, the other day. That it made me cry because it felt like Mary was describing my mom when she wrote this poem. So Mary Oliver writes, teach the children. We don't matter so much, but the children do. Show them daisies and the pale hellatica. Teach them the taste of sassafras and wintergreen. Give them peppermint to put in their pockets as they go to school. Give them the fields and the woods and the possibility of a world salvaged from the lords of profit. Stand them in the stream. Head them upstream. Rejoice as they learn to love this green space they live in. Its sticks and leaves, and then the silent, beautiful blossoms. And she did give us the love of nature. She gave her children the love of nature. We always had acres of land, even in Baltimore, Maryland. It's hard to believe, but we had a 2-acre yard, and in that backyard, Mom had a horse, a goat, and a duck. She loved the earth and plants and creatures, and she gave that love to us. So I feel our relationship with our moms and as moms, our relationship as moms with our children, is probably the biggest Earth School assignment. That's what Mom used to call it, Earth School, and that's the biggest assignment, where our souls agreed to do some deep work. Not for everybody, for many of us, I think. And in some cases, explore big challenges that we could grow deeply from. And that growth, of course, takes its own time. I believe it can happen equally when one person is on the other side. Ram Dass tells a story of his spiritual teacher, Neem Karoli Baba, that told him his mother is a very high being in her existence now. And Ram Dass says, "You mean she was?" And he goes, "No, is. In other words, she is evolving where she is now, beyond the body." And it helped him because he had a lot of judgments about his mom, and he saw a lot of her shortcomings, and that helped him to see her as a soul. And then he was really suggesting that. And the Buddhist teachings, they talk about everybody's probably been your mother. That they have this profound teaching on interconnectedness of all beings, and they talk about the endless cycle of rebirth. And they suggest that in countless lifetimes, each person has likely been in a parental role to you, or you have been in a parental role to them. It's interesting to think about that, I feel that reincarnation is a reality. And I often imagine my mom and I in another life. I was at the park this week, and there was the most precious father and son playing. And I thought, that would be fun. Mom, why don't you be the dad this time, and I'll be the son? And we'll have this relationship that way. So I think it's good to consider, that we may live lifetimes and play many different roles in relation to each other. When my mom passed, I've shared before that night, I felt so connected with her in her mind that I had the life review with her. I felt like I was there with her, just kind of merged in unity. And like her life review, I could see, but I also saw my actions. And I was seeing from a clarity. I was seeing with a humility, without the ego filter. And I really felt, wow, I see my own things that I wish I had done differently. And as we were doing this life review together, there was so much love present. It's like, we talk about the Divine Mother. It's this presence of love. It's all the love you could ever imagine times a billion holding us. And so as Mom would see, things that she did, I would feel her wanting forgiveness and feeling regret. And I would say, it's already there. You're already forgiven. And anyway, I just felt this incredibly tremendous healing that we had in those moments together. The presence of great love that God is, it helps us let go. It helps us let go and free our hearts from the pain of the past. So, the bond with a parent is so deep, and perhaps lifetimes deep, many lifetimes. And so when that bond feels damaged, that is also deep, that feeling. With parents, we often expect the world of them, and sometimes we hold out the hope they'll finally own up to their shortcomings and apologize. We sometimes want to know we were good children, right? We sometimes want them to take back their actions that hurt us and finally give us the praise or the love that we've longed for. And I went through some of that myself. But I have a birthday card on my altar at home that Mom wrote me, and this was one of the last years she gave me a birthday card, and she wrote, "Always know that I love you as much as I can. My love is My love is unconditioned, and it is forever." And so she knew I wanted in the young years her to be this other thing, this perfect, affectionate mother that you see on TV. And yet she was letting me know there's an unconditional love I have for you, and it is forever. And that forever transcends being in form and being formless. It transcends that seeming boundary between life and death, or form and formlessness. It is eternal. Love is eternal. It transcends all boundaries. It's so important to know that and feel it. So our work may be in forgiving our parents. It may be in forgiving our children. And of course, in the work of forgiveness, it's not condoning the hurtful things. It's not denying the misdeeds, but it is setting ourselves free. It's setting our hearts free. And it is healing intergenerational trauma sometimes. And that takes time. That's an incremental process. But at some point, we realize that we are responsible now for our happiness, right? That's something we finally get to. And I was so touched by Rian Eisler's message last Sunday. And so I've been reading her books, studying her work more deeply. But she describes how just about everyone is traumatized due to the domination model, and due to the people that, we might have been traumatized by, them being traumatized by the domination model. And she says that part of our spiritual awakening is the personal and the collective work of healing the trauma. And I know there are so many therapists that come to this church. I love that. And thank you for your work. Thank you for your work. Yeah, so we have to heal ourselves. And of course, Rian encourages us to yield power like a chalice, not a blade. Yield power like a chalice that gives life. The chalice is life-giving, not a blade. So I found some beautiful affirmations that are specific to healing trauma that I thought we could repeat together for ourselves, but also for our families and for our loved ones that are needing that healing. We affirm it for ourselves first, and then we affirm it for our loved ones in our community. So would you affirm with me, after me? I am worthy. You are worthy. I am allowed to struggle. You are allowed to struggle. I am not alone. You are not alone. What happened does not define me. What happened does not define you. It's okay to be the way I am right now. It's okay to be the way you are right now. It's understandable that I felt the way I felt. It's understandable that you felt the way you felt. Thank you. Thank you for that. So important. It's a way that we learn to mother ourselves. We learn to mother ourselves, and we take care of the inner child of our being. We give ourselves the love and the acceptance and the safety that we long for. Part of self-healing is self-nurturing, right? I've got 2 massages for my birthday. Thank you, Liz. One of the things that I didn't see as a gift until later with my mom was that when I felt a lack of love from my mom, it turned me towards the Universal Mother. It turned me towards seeking this love that I knew existed, that was unconditional and infinite and immense. I knew this love existed. And so I felt like in some ways Mom just turned me towards that. She made me really strong in a way. In 1990, when I lived at Brighton Bush, I used to always go in the sanctuary there, and there was a beautiful Kuan Yin in there. And I would just sit in front of Kuan Yin, and I would just pray to Kuan Yin, and I would just say, really, I just had an immense amount of devotion at that time, just pouring through my heart, and I was praying, free me from limitations, free me from negativity, free me from anger, free me from fear, free me from insecurity. And I just wanted to feel that presence so fully, so tangibly. And then after a year of that, I had a spiritual awakening that dramatically changed my life. And so, so I'd like to share a prayer that invokes the Universal Mother. And this is by Lori Brockway. Divine Mother of all that is, whose essence lies within us all and in all things, please fill this place with your sacred light and presence. Please protect me and heal me. Please bring me to wholeness and wisdom. Make this a day of fresh starts, new beginnings. Melt all obstacles in my path gently, gracefully, lovingly. Reconnect me to my highest self. Awaken me to what I need to know next. Let my higher self connect with the divine energy that is right for me right now. May I be uplifted and empowered by your love. So be it, and so it is. There was a song I wrote after that awakening. I wrote a whole album called Mother Song, and it was mostly songs from the mother because I felt merged in that mother to all of us so we could know how loved we are. But one of the verses, it was a song, All Is Well. It goes, she loves her children. She wants your joy. So pick up your feet and dance. Sing out your heart, take a chance. Live this life to love all you can, and know that all is well. Know that all is well. And so that to me is the message for Mother's Day. It is the message from the mother of all that is. Another birthday card I just read yesterday from Mom, it said, don't worry, be happy always. She was channeling that mother. Don't worry, be happy always. If we could just do this, if we could know that the love that created each one of us wants our joy, wants us to dance and sing and have a grand adventure in consciousness here. If we could just know that, remember that we're cherished. Remember we are beloved. We are so beloved. We are so loved every moment. We are held every moment, and all is well. Thank you all. Happy Mother's Day.